Alright, ebusian for emunyina nya hwefo nyina akwaba stronko biem de munyina moba platform so na mguso wa kama se akroma TV so na mane guso mo hwene sabre enso hodo eguso twegu omanka ne modi ayensa aka ende aboabo no nyina right here mbeba ne da hana chese mo so mahode ekoso ewo omanka ne mase ebesre se mo subscribe emaye mu wia na madoma chef stories no na for so comment section aya mo ncheche madwe emfa nsem nyina ho emaye ebenya bre ne akenkan edi amamo and some mimiam de ebremo medium regiswa ene efia adepa ebesre sem koso no subscribe amaye yen say bre abusan fo behwe ne aboera yen sem no emu the national address 29th one etoso and na chese mampanyi his excellency Nana Akuffo Addo abono homode esane mu amaye nwumre na chese to ahodo etimi akoso right from the time of corona 2020 na chese national address na sha sie mbe den and fellow Ghanaians Ghana fo ina eka ho asem bi me ka say enwumre die his excellency eden sembi atudwa na titiru na ekwo ediafa IMF deal and in IMF deal ne ka ho asem a enye new to anybody sha se kan right from the beginning of this year once my do so papa Ghana fo bi achurch madwene na kenoforiata honsensem ababesini etwem ene IMF deal dwumedie no aye basic kan so ababedru obi kan ya gisika mampanyi so dia wo so de bo man Ghana fo amane bo emu eden emu ehwam so nkoso kra no His Excellency Akuffo Addo abono homodin asane mu anwumre e de atudwa ensma hodo de atudwa fa hono busiafo esemani esema so papa entina chese ho audio e ho nsema yekoba nyina no right here yensa akanti ma meka senya tenten kra e beje bread ne ato yebo akwakotie ensema kasa His Excellency the President Akuffo Addo e de atudwa e de afa IMF deal no ho na afen so nhye bi atudwa no so odni nyina e kan ho yenje bread ne nti ensem we say na monka esem so meche madwen e comment section making kind na edi amamu yemora ensem ni mu e na yenti de course no enyina.
And with these developments has reached the end of its mandate. I thank the trustees as well as all donors and contributors to the fund. It is likely, God willing, that this will be the last in the series of fellow Ghanaian speeches on COVID. And as your president, I have a truly long list of people and institutions I must take this opportunity to thank. I thank firstly all of you, my compatriots, my fellow Ghanaians, for your patience, understanding, and cooperation. Health workers and the scientific community. I thank the leaders of the faith-based groups, the Christian Council, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Ghana Charismatic and Pentecostal Council, the Chief Imam and the Muslim leaders, for their strong involvement, powerful prayers and support, their help, especially in feeding the vulnerable during the lockdown periods, and through the Church of Pentecost, in providing accommodation for an isolation and treatment center. I thank the Council of State and our traditional leaders, the national and regional houses of chiefs, for their support and help in community sensitization. I thank the political and business leaders, development partnerships, NGOs and civil society, the sports, hospitality, entertainment, creative and tourism industries, our security services, police, military, immigration, teachers, pupils, students, parents, and guidance. I thank the journalists and the entire media. A few weeks ago, I gave national honors to most of the frontline workers who had been in the trenches, as it were, in the COVID battle. A total of 20,110 people were given national honors. They were well-deserved. But I know that some might have been left out, not out of any malice. We continue to recognize those who come to our attention. I must also make special mention of the environmental health personnel of the Ministry of Local Government. I gave a directive to the Minister of Finance to start the process. It was a painful decision for me to take because going to the IMF was not part of the economic transformation agenda I'd been pursuing, especially as my government had gone the extra mile to bring to a successful end the IMF program we inherited from the previous government. But who would have imagined that President Akuffo Addo would order the closure of airports, offices, factories, or schools. We were in extraordinary times, and we took extraordinary measures. And when faced with the realities of the economic crisis last year, I accepted the challenge that the economy required a similar attitude, including the sacrifices many of us have made in recent times. Luckily, the International Monetary Fund has been most supportive, and we have ended up with having our program approved in record time, culminating in the formal approval by the IMF board on 17th May. As I'm sure we have all heard by now, the details of the program have been explained by officials of the fund and by our Minister for Finance and the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. The first tranche of $600 million United States dollars has been credited to our national account out of the $3 billion United States dollars that we have negotiated to receive within a period of 36 months. Fellow Ghanaians, access to the IMF facility will not spell the immediate end of the difficulties we are in presently. But the fact that we've been able to negotiate such a deal sends a positive message to our trading partners, creditors, and investors. A positive message that will be underpinned by the discipline, hard work, and enterprise with which we execute the program. It should lead to the restoration of confidence and the reopening of avenues that have been closed to us this past year and a half. It should also lead to the resumption of many of the infrastructural projects that have stalled. Fellow Ghanaians, we got ourselves out of a pandemic in which there were no precedents on which to rely, and where even the experts admitted they had no clear-cut solutions. We did it by being resolute, being focused, and working very hard, and by accepting that we had to stick together. With a similar frame of mind and attitude, we shall overcome the economic difficulties as well, sooner rather than later. I have no doubts at all in my mind that we are on the right path, and we will soon start to see significant improvements in the economy and in the living standards of Ghanaians. Emiadum, cover yare no a to share yan so no. Na di o how be bre yan no. Emiadaroma, etumi tu na se. Misramo, o ma nyina enda nyame ase. Yan koso enhwe yan ho so yi. Anyeme. Ni modromo na COVID hila ni ba wono. Ni ka hawo ba. Ni mo ejowo. When you fanishi, waha ofe wadanyumoshi, ni wakwe wahino ujuba. We are a God-fearing and a God-loving nation. And that is why throughout my presidency, I have consistently stressed that the battle is the Lord's. Thus, 3 years ago, when the pandemic first hit us, I asked for a national day of prayer and fasting for God's help, to be observed on 25th March 2020. Now that the Lord has heard our prayers and seen us through this COVID trial, I would respectfully ask that next Friday, i.e. the 2nd of June, all Muslims should say a special prayer of gratitude for our nation's health. And that next Saturday and Sunday, i.e. the 3rd and 4th of June, all Christians should do the same. Fellow Ghanaians, we shall overcome our present economic difficulties. The battle is indeed the Lord.